So, what we're going to go over today is we're going to talk about factoring and how to do factoring whenever we don't have all the information. Okay? So if you remember factoring is what we do whenever we have some sort of expression, some sort of equation, and we want to make it simpler. Okay? So an example might be we have like x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 0, and we want to solve for x. And we're looking at it like, I have no idea what x values we might put in there. Okay? So instead of that, what we're going to do is we're going to break it up. So when we factor, we're going to look for something that we're going to try to break it up into x times, or x plus something times x plus something else. Okay? And that something and something we're going to want to have where it multiplies together to give us this equation. Okay, so we're going to make it where this multiplies together to get that. Okay? So what we're going to be looking for is we're going to be looking for two numbers that add up to 2 and multiply to get 1. Two numbers that add up to get this term right here and multiply together to get this term right here. Okay? And they'll always be in those places if you write your equation in regular form. Okay? So, two numbers that multiply together, multiply together to get 1, okay, and add together to get 2. Those two numbers are just going to be 1 and 1. So we're going to have x plus 1 and x plus 1. So when we multiply together x plus 1 times x plus 1, we're going to get x squared plus 2x plus 1. So we can rewrite that, of course, as x plus 1 squared equals 0. And then from there we know our x value is negative 1. So that's what solves the equation. So, moving on from there, we're going to do it once or twice more. Sorry to move the camera. Just trying to scroll down. So next one we're going to look at is x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals 0. So we're looking for some numbers that multiply together to get 16, but add together to get 8. Okay? So if you don't know that right off the top, just try to guess. So you know some numbers that multiply together to get 16 are like 16 and 1, 2 and 8, so on and so forth. Next one you'd hopefully come to is 4 and 4. So we see that 4 times 4 multiply together to get 16, and add together to get 8. So that's going to be our answer. X plus 4, x plus 4, and so then we just have x plus 4 squared equals 0. Alright, so I just went and found some numbers that multiply together to get 4, to added together to get 8. So it's x plus something times x plus something, and that's it. Moving on, one more example. We have x squared minus 10x plus 25 equals 0. Okay, so this one's trickier because we need numbers that multiply together to get 25 and add together to get negative 10. See this negative here? Add together to get negative 10. So, what we're going to do is we're going to so just two numbers that multiply together to get 25 and add together to get negative 10. So we're just going to put our box, x plus something times x plus something. Okay. So two numbers that multiply together to get 25, add together to get negative 10. It's going to be negative 5 and negative 5. So that gives us x minus 5 times x minus 5. That gives x minus 5 squared. Still equals 0. So this factoring is something we've done before. We know that it doesn't always have to be it where we get something squared. So we might have two numbers that are different. And so, but we're not going to be dealing with those right now. We're just going to be dealing with when it's the same number. So, yeah. Next thing we want to talk about is completing the square. Okay, you may have done completing the square before. I don't know. But what we're going to do for completing the square is we want to have, we're given an equation. So let me come over to the back, sorry. So completing the square. So completing the square is when we are given an equation that doesn't have a constant. It isn't factorable. And we're going to make it and add things to it to make it factorable. Okay? So an example might be x plus 2x equals 0. So there is, x squared plus 2x equals 0. My bad. X squared plus 2x equals 0.